Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today I want to do a topic talking a little bit about builds and itemization and just kind of give my thoughts on kind of my current philosophy on how I'm creating my builds. I've gotten more than a handful of comments asking me, hey, what is the full build? And I want to touch on that particular question. So thank you so much for engaging. If you haven't already, drop a like on this video, subscribe for future predecessor content, and let's dive into it. So first and foremost, your playstyle centers around your crest. You should be picking a crest that goes well with your hero. We're not really going to talk about that because I'm not sitting here to decide builds for everyone, but I want to talk about my philosophy on making a build for your hero. Now, here is where it's been like for me, and I'm going to talk specifically to the jungle role a little bit because that's what I've mostly been maining. Jungle consists of like mostly assassins and fighters. You have Rampage, who's like a fighter tank. And so what I'm noticing in that role, and I think this flexes to some of the other roles as well. You know, you can let me know what y'all think, and I think this is a fine philosophy to have, is that your build should be about 1 to maybe max 3 core items that you know you're going to build. Boom, boom, boom. Max 3 core items. And then the rest is interpretive. And you just look at the rest of the enemy, you look at what they have, you look at what your team comp is, what do you need? Do you need anti-heal? Do you need more magic armor? And then you start building into items that you know are good for the hero that you have that follow what you need. That should be the philosophy. So the reason why I'm not particularly showing off 5 item builds is because I don't think I have any one set 5 item build that's predetermined. Now, I think maybe the carry role and maybe the mid lane role could. Those roles, probably more so than anyone on the field, could have a set determined, these are the items I want to have on Gideon. These are the items I want to have on Drongo. So, and I don't really have solid builds for those characters. I've got like good 2-3 start openers, and then I even myself haven't really thought out the full builds because I don't play a lot of mid and carry, but that's just my philosophy for now. So you can carry that philosophy into mid and carry, or you can make some predetermined builds if you really want to. But let's go ahead and talk about, like, let's say a Rampage build. So right now in the game with Rampage, I'm starting like in jungle. If I'm playing jungle Rampage, I really like to go into Lockshaw so I can start killing an enemy minion, granting up to 4 bonus health. We start stacking this up. Big shout outs to Hymnal for letting me know about this passive being on Lockshaw because I wasn't really paying attention. And then I go into something like Fire Blossom. And so I'll end up full building a Fire Blossom, and that's like my first full built item after I buy Lockshaw, and then I'll go back into Leviathan. So now I have Rampage. I'll start with like a short sword or whatever the hell it's called, and I'll have a full built Leviathan and a full built Fire Blossom. So what does that give me? On Rampage, that gives me 400 base health, 225 base regeneration, base health regeneration, and then it gives me 275 health, 200 mana, 40 physical armor. So now I have some physical armor, I have some health and some health regeneration, which is all really, really great. So after that second item, I can decide, what do I want to build next? Well, do they have someone that's got magic that, you know, is their mid laner popping off and I really need to build some magic armor? Okay, maybe I build a Void Helmet. And Void Helmet is, you know, lots of regen, health, magic armor, ability haste. Or maybe I build an Unbroken Will. Unbroken Will, really, really good item in my opinion. 300 base health, 150 base health regeneration, really good for Rampage. 30 magic armor, tenacity with the passives. I'm not going to touch on the passives right now. So the point being is that you have to make like a core, like I said, 2 to 3 item build, and then you adapt. And with someone like Rampage who's intentionally tanky, you can do that a little bit earlier, like immediately after like your first couple items or so. Now, with Chimera, for example, I'm going Mutilator. First item, really rush this HP percentage shred on the hero's max health. Really good Omnivamp, ability haste, physical power, amazing item. Then I'm going into Bonesaw. I couldn't think. Okay, oops. Then we're going into Bonesaw, and I really, really like this. Every 3rd consecutive basic attack deals 3% max health, so really big shred damage coming out from Chimera with his Q. And then if I want to, say I need some armor, I start building an armor item. Or if I really just want to play on the HP tankiness, I go into Salvation. And this, you know, gives me a shield based on my max health. So that's kind of my core 3 build. But after this 3rd item is done, well, do I need to build magic damage or magic armor? Okay, maybe I build Legacy. See if I can find Legacy. And this also plays on the falling below 40% maximum health, cleanse all negative debuffs, but this also has magic armor and physical power and ability haste. So it it really just depends on what you need, what's going on, pressing tab and looking at the game and analyzing who is doing well on the field. Is their team mostly magic damage? Maybe you build this earlier. Or maybe you don't build a lot of physical armor at all. Is their team, half and half? Well, who's doing well? If it's like half and half, but it's like mostly physical and their physical carry is like doing well, maybe you start building some armor. So I guess I really just wanted to touch on that philosophy of when you have a character that you play, I would recommend that you know your first 2 items minimum, mostly, and then maybe even your third, and then you build into something. So like the Drongo video I did, what was it? Resolution? Is that what it's called? I forget the name of this item. Yeah, resolution. So you can build chalice, and this is very similar to Lockshaw, where you want to build the stacking item. So I build the chalice first, and then I went straight into mutilator, so for percentage HP shred. And then I go back and I finish the revelation, or resolution. Finish the resolution. I'm still learning. So then I finished resolution. So now, someone like Drongo, like I did for the Drongo video, I've got a resolution and a mutilator. Well, that's going to lead me into Vanquisher, and this is all playing on that percentage maximum mana build. So I have a core 3 build built out on Drongo. And then I look and see, well, what do I need? Are they stacking a ton of armor? Do I need to go into something like not Basilisk, but I can't remember the other name of the other item. It builds off the Ruthless Broadsword. Maybe I want to go into a Deathstalker. This gives physical pen and then reduces their armor. This has crit on it, does the same thing, reduces their armor. So you can go into Viper or Deathstalker, or maybe I want more shred, so I go into and some attack speed. So I go into a Sky Splitter. So again, I think the whole point is that having a core 2 to 3 items is really what you want to do. Now, I'd be more than happy to theory craft some builds with y'all. If you want to ask some questions in the comments down below, I'll try to respond to some of them and kind of let you know my thoughts, because there are items that I think are incredibly strong in this game that should not be ignored, and then there are items that I think are pretty good and very situational. So, for example, I'm going to tell you some of the items that I don't always build, like the ones that I don't always build, but they're still like good items. I mean, I think every item in this game is honestly good. Overlord, Breach, Milady, Mesmer, Demon Edge, and some of these items are really, really good. The Perforator, Tainted Blade, this is a kind of a counter item for when they have healing. If you have like a Chimera or a Narbash in your game, look at the Tainted items. If you're not familiar with the Tainted items, see. You have all of these tainted items. So you have Tainted Totem, which is like a support tainted, nearby enemy heroes have their healing reduced by 30% and are slowed. So you could put this on like a tank or like a support. Yourself and nearby ally heroes receive 20% increased healing and shielding. You have Tainted Guard. This has health, physical armor, ability haste. When hit by a basic attack, reduce the source's healing. You know what I mean? So, and then you have some offensive options as well. An AP option, a blade option, and an attack speed crit option. So, think about the tainted options. So it's really just about having your hero, knowing the core play style and the core build that you want to build on them, and then responding and reacting. That's what it is. It's a strategy game. MOBAs are strategy games. So friends, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully, like I said, we can bounce some ideas off of each other. I'm sure that some of y'all would be more than happy to comment back and forth about what's been working for you, what you've been trying, and what items you like, because there are a lot of items in this game. Like I said, there, especially for physical items, there are so many physical items. Some of these I've literally never built. Like I've never built a Tectonic Mallet. I've only built Painweaver Omen like a couple times. I've never built a Terminus. There's so many items in this game that I just don't always build, and some are really good for rangers, some are good for brawlers, some are good for both, and you just have to kind of play around and see what works. So friends, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like on this video, subscribe for future Predecessor content. As always, be sure to be kind of one another, tell someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.